Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you here with me. I'm Leslie Gaudette, self-care strategist for female entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space, who are service providers in health and wellness space. I specialize in systems that transform daily stress and constant overwhelm into clarity and calm, while also creating space for that personal fulfillment. We're continuing today our discussion around professional burnout, where we're going to be for the next several weeks. And today we're going to be discussing the stats of burnout across various industries, because again, burnout is just not in one industry. It's not in just one lifestyle. It is affecting all of us. And understanding burnout is important for us, for all of us to pay attention to, because it's important that we know that each and every one of us can be affected. We need to recognize that burnout is affecting all of us in one way or another, whether we're experiencing it directly or indirectly through our own experiences or someone else that we know is going through a burnout phase. And so my hope for you today is that you lean in and you let me take you on an educational ride and provide you with some stats that I hope you will help you to understand that it's not just certain industries that are affected by burnout, but that it's everywhere and it is a global phenomenon. So first, we're going to start with healthcare workers. And an article that I found, which was published by the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, they published an article online and they called it "Health Workers Face a Mental Health Crisis." And they reported on how workplace harassment, burnout, and poor mental health are at the top of the list. They first published this article back in 2022, and then they updated the numbers again in October of last year, stating that in 2022, 46% of healthcare workers reported feeling burned out often or very often, compared to 32% in 2018. That's a 14% jump in numbers in 4 years. And obviously, we understand that COVID also played a part in the spike. And nearly half of health workers, which is 44%, intended to even look for a new job in 2022, which is up from 33% in 2018. So again, the life changes, right? Lifestyle. The article also reports that the COVID-19 pandemic presented even more stressors. They included a surge of patients, obviously we know that, longer working hours, and shortages of supplies and protective equipment. And so our healthcare workers were reporting feeling fatigue, loss, and grief at levels higher than before the pandemic. So these are just some numbers just in that specific sector. Now let's move on to the educational sector, which is very important. I believe that especially, we have our young people that we are training, or we are supporting them, our teachers, our educators are supporting them to go out into the world and create a good life for themselves, but also to make impact in the world and whatever they do. So I also came across another article. It was written by one Devlin Peck, and it was around burnout and how it's affecting our educators. Just a little bit of background on Devlin Peck. He's the founder of devlinpeck.com, where he helps people build instructional design skills and become instructional designers. He also leads a team of skilled instructional designers, developers, and consultants to serve corporate learning needs for global clients. In addition, he's also a leader in the e-learning industry and has appeared on various podcasts and websites, as well as he has presented at corporate events, industry conferences, and universities like Stanford University and Johnson & Johnson. So he was at Teachers and Burnout back in January of this year. He reported, that's when he wrote the article, that's when it dropped. He reported that almost half of K-12 teachers feel burned out at work very often, and that in a 2022 Gallup poll on occupational burnout, 44% of American K-12 teachers reported feeling burned out often or always. In the cases of teachers at universities and colleges, the figure stood at 35%. In addition, it also goes on to say that a survey of 3,621 members of the National Education Association revealed that 67% of these leading educators consider burnout to be a very serious issue. And I know there's a lot of teachers in here that I'm connected with, or people who were teachers and who've now moved on to other things. They've gotten out of teaching And they know, they understand, like, there's just so much that goes on into being a teacher, and they need to be supported as well as our healthcare workers. But they have such a demanding position because a lot of their downtime is really not downtime for them. It's really preparing for them teaching our children, our future leaders. So this is really something I want you to start. If you're not an educator, but you have children who are in school, maybe this is something that you can start thinking about, like, how am I supporting, the teachers that are, teaching my children? Last but not least, according to Teacher Wellbeing Index 2022, the research study conducted on a group of teachers in the UK showed that senior leaders, head teachers, principals, deputy and assistant head teachers and principals, and head and deputy heads of year and departments showed the highest number of signs of burnout, exhaustion, and acute stress. This affected 37% of senior leaders compared to 27% of school teachers. When it comes to the signs of exhaustion, an astounding 41% of senior leaders reported this compared to 30% of school teachers. So, again, the stresses of the position and, what are we doing to support not only them, but ourselves, right? This is why I'm bringing these stats to you, because if you feel like it's not going to affect you, it is not necessarily a matter of never, but really a matter of when, if you're not taking care of yourself. So I hope you're getting the picture here, because it's really serious. Burnout is very serious. It's affecting us everywhere in the world and in every industry. And I'm not even going to stop there, because my last stats I want to report on are today are for entrepreneurs, because I know a lot of us here in this space are entrepreneurial. We have businesses. We might even be working a corporate position, and then we have a side business that we're also working. So I came across this article by Wi-Fi Talents with a whole list of burnout stats for entrepreneurs, which I want to share with you here. It was written last month in June by one Janet Lindner, and so I'm just going to share the stats with you. Number one, entrepreneurial burnout is most commonly experienced within the first 3 years of starting a business. Second stat, female entrepreneurs report a higher incidence of burnout compared to their male counterparts. That could be for many reasons. A lot of times it's moms who are, juggling, their home life with the kids, their family responsibilities, obligations, and then having a business and having a team and all of that too. I'm not saying that men don't experience burnout and that they don't experience in ways that could be similar to ours as women, but there's just differences. Women are mostly the caregivers of our children, unless of course you're a single family, a single dad with kids. But most of the time, it falls upon the women, at least the women that I've talked to, and including in my own family, that the women have been responsible for caregiving, for raising the children, and then going out into the world and actually providing income for the family. So there's all of those stresses. The third one is entrepreneurial burnout can lead to a 50% decrease in productivity. And that's a huge number, like half of our productivity lost due to burnout. Fourth stat is burnout is a major factor leading to the failure of 30% of new businesses. And I can imagine why, because you feel like you keep going, and you don't have anything left. And if you reach full on burnout, which I've talked about multiple times in here on this platform, and I am going to be talking about it more as the weeks go by, that when you are go, and you're not taking time to look after yourself, you could get into that full-on burnout, which then at that point, you don't have a choice but to stop and take care of yourself, because your body and your brain and everything won't let you. You just will not be able to do anything. And I'm speaking from experience, and from also the experiences of the women that I've actually had market research calls with, and some of my friends. The fifth stat is up to 60% of entrepreneurs have reported that burnout has affected their mental health. The sixth stat is 35% of entrepreneurs report that stress significantly impacts their physical health. Number 7, nearly 80% of entrepreneurs work over 60 hours per week contributing to burnout. So think about that. You get into business and you're not getting into business to work longer, but it seems that when you become an entrepreneur, that's what's happening to a lot of us, that we actually are working longer hours than we were in our corporate positions, or we are working just as long as we were in our corporate positions. And a lot of the time we got into our businesses so that we'd have more time flexibility, more time freedom, more quality of life. Number 8, 45% of entrepreneurs feel isolated, which exacerbates the burnout symptoms. Number 9, Europe and North America report the highest rates of entrepreneur burnout. Number 10, 48% of burned out entrepreneurs report diminished passion for their work. And number 11, lack of work-life balance contributes to burnout in 70% of entrepreneurs. So you have no life, meaning your life revolves around your business and you have no quality time for yourself and others or enjoying life. And finally, number 12, 3 out of 5 entrepreneurs have reported being more stressed than when they were employees. There's so many more that I could share with you today, but my question for you today is this. Are you really now starting to see the bigger picture here, that burnout is affecting us all at alarming rates? And it's not a matter of never of it ever happening to you, but a concern of when will it happen to you if you don't start recognizing the signs early enough so that you can combat them, so that you can avoid burnout. So why do these stats matter that I've shared with you? These stats really are highlighting the widespread and serious nature of burnout across various industries. I've only talked about 3, but it's across our industries. It's affecting healthcare workers, educators, entrepreneurs alike. It leads to significant negative impacts on both our personal well-being and our professional performance, including increased turnovers, intentions, decreased productivity, and compromised mental and physical health. So when you recognize these trends early enough, when you start recognizing these trends, and especially if it's part of like your lifestyle right now, this is where it's going to be really essential for you to start taking those proactive measures to address the burnout, ensuring that you can maintain your health and continue to perform effectively in your role, whatever that looks like. And when you understand the extent and implications of burnout, you can better support those affected around you, whether it's you going through burnout and you're affecting the people in your life by just your crankiness, irritability, lack of motivation, or maybe you can support someone who's going through that, and then work towards creating healthier work environments, healthier environments all around. So I hope you've learned something today, and that your eyes have been open to the fact that burnout is a bigger issue than we often realize. It's crucial to recognize how pervasive and damaging burnout can be across the different industries, because it's out there and it's a phenomenon, and it's not going away unless we face it head on and we start really taking steps to manage it, to manage our time, to actually take care of ourselves. That's why I'm such an advocate for self-care. So now as we wrap up today, I want to encourage you to reflect on some questions I'm going to leave for you so you can better understand how burnout may be affecting you in your particular field. I'll make sure to post them in the comments after the video. If you're a healthcare worker, have you noticed increased stress or fatigue in your role? And how is it affecting your patient care and personal well-being? If you're an educator, are you experiencing the higher levels of stress and burnout in your teaching profession? And how does this impact your ability to educate and connect with your students? And for the entrepreneurs out there, are the long hours and isolation taking a toll on your mental and physical health? And how is burnout affecting your passion for your work and your productivity? Again, when you go back and you think about the stat about how many people are really how entrepreneurs are not, like, they're not staying in the business because they're burning out. They are leaving. Like, when you think that it's within the first 3 years of starting a business that it's most commonly experienced by an entrepreneur, it's important to pay attention to that. And also to know that if you're working those long hours like you were before, that you wanted to actually change your quality of life to be more quality of life, not lack of quality of life, but you find yourself working those 60 plus, 70 plus, maybe 100-hour weeks because you're an entrepreneur and you're always working in your business. instead of working on your business. That also might be something for you to think about. So the questions that I want to, as I said, I wanted to leave you with, I'll make sure that I put them in the chat below. I hope that when you reflect on them, they help you identify the signs of burnout early and so that you can take proactive steps to address them. Because understanding and addressing burnout is crucial for you to maintain your health and your effectiveness, not only in your professional life, but also in your personal life. You want quality of life all around. So thanks again for joining me this week, or thanks for watching me this week. I'm trying to keep these videos short and to the point. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Just as an FYI, I will be going live on Monday, August 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern instead of Wednesday, August 7th at my usual time of 12:15 Eastern, as I'm going to be joined by a guest expert who's going to help me uncover the differences between burnout and stress. So be sure to bookmark your calendars and join us live. Also, don't forget, if you're interested, I still have some spots open to get in on my Holistic Balance and Success Self-Care Audit, which is really about getting eyes on your current self-care routine to find what your gaps and strengths are, areas for improvement, uncover hidden challenges that you might be facing, and then providing you with that written in an audio video report, so that to help you have like actual actionable steps that you can start taking back your life. So if you want that link to get your success audit done, just send me a message and I'll send you the link. Again, thanks for watching. And until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep building your extraordinary life one day at a time.